welcome to the deep dive. We know there's just so much information out there, especially with tech changing so fast. So we're here to cut through that noise, give you the essentials of really interesting stuff. Today, we are diving deep into enterprise resource planning systems, ERP. Specifically, what's happening as we look towards 2025. Our mission, simple, give you a clear, engaging look at the trends, the top systems out there, and maybe most importantly, the pitfalls you really need to avoid. Think of this as your guide through this pretty complex world.
Yeah, it definitely can be complex, and we've got some great sources lined up to help us unpack it all today. We're looking at the 2025 Top 10 ERP reports from Panorama Consulting Group. They've got one for the general market and another specifically for government. Really useful stuff. Plus, a recent Panorama piece on replacing those old legacy ERPs, some eye-openers in there. And finally, a very practical 2025 ERP buyer's guide from Concentris. So yeah, some sharp real-world perspectives.
Okay, great. Let's jump right in there. For anyone maybe newer to ERP or just needing a quick refresher, what exactly is it and why is it so vital?
Right. So at its heart, ERP is all about connection, integration, and data. It's basically a software suite that links up all the different parts of a business, finance, HR, manufacturing, supply chain, everything. The main goal is to have one central place for all your data and operations. And honestly, its importance today. You really can't overstate it if you want to make decisions based on actual data, boost efficiency, and cut costs by dishing all those separate siloed systems.
Connecting the puzzle pieces, got it. So looking ahead to 2025, what are the big currents, the major trends shaping ERP right now?
Well, you hear cloud and AI thrown around a lot, right? But in ERP, they really are fundamental shifts. The biggest one, no question, is cloud dominance. Just a massive move to cloud-based solutions, SaaS models, software as a service. You're basically subscribing, accessing it remotely, not managing the hardware yourself. And what's really pushing it, financially speaking, is that the cloud subscription fees, they're often lower than the on-premise subscription fees. And that's before you even think about buying servers or running a data center.
That cost angle is definitely powerful. But is there more to it, like strategically, beyond just the immediate savings, or maybe a hidden downside?
Oh, definitely. Strategically, the cloud gives you incredible scalability, flexibility. You can pivot much faster without huge infrastructure headaches. The hidden challenge, perhaps, while you swap physical infrastructure costs for dependency on your vendor, their ecosystem. And yeah, network reliability, that's a trade-off. Then moving on, you've got this advanced tech integration. AI and machine learning are really, really taking hold. We're not just talking buzzwords here. They're being used inside ERP for automating tasks, getting deeper insights, making smarter decisions. And here's a stat that might surprise you from that Panorama survey. Get this, 72.6% of organizations they talk to already using AI in some form.
Wow, 72%. That is high. Does that mean deep integration? Or are folks just testing the waters, maybe feeling pressure to say they're doing something with AI?
It's probably a mix, you're right. But it clearly shows AI is shifting from nice to have or experimental to, well, almost expected. Some are starting basic, maybe automating invoice processing, that kind of thing. But others are going deeper, embedding it in forecasting, analytics. It expands once they see the value. And the third big trend, industry focus. ERP vendors are getting much better at offering specialized functions right out of the box for specific industries. This is huge because it means the system already understands unique industry processes. It cuts down or sometimes even eliminates the need for those painful, expensive customizations.
Right. So you get something that fits better from the start instead of forcing a generic system to work. Okay, so with those trends, cloud, AI, industry focus, who are the actual players? Who's leading the pack in the general market for 2025?
Panorama's report points to 10 key systems, each with its own strengths. Let's touch on a few standouts. If you're in manufacturing, especially that make-to-order discrete manufacturing space, Epicor Kinetic is a really strong name. The key thing there is it's built for handling highly customized products, fluctuating demand things general ERPs can struggle with, and it offers flexibility. Cloud, on-prem, hybrid, whatever fits your setup. Also in manufacturing, there's Cispro ERP. It's maybe less known, but emerging fast. Cloud-based, built only for manufacturers and distributors. Scales well, too, from smaller businesses up to multinationals.
Okay, purpose-built for manufacturing complexity. What about broader solutions, or maybe ones known for strong financial features?
Yeah, for more general enterprise needs, you've got Oracle NetSuite ERP. That's a really comprehensive cloud solution. Accounting, inventory, supply chain, all integrated. And its sibling, Oracle Fusion Cloud ERP, is positioned as next gen. It leans heavily into that embedded AI and machine learning for automation.
So Oracle's definitely pushing AI hard, and Microsoft Dynamics 365, I assume that fits in the broader suite category too.
Absolutely. Dynamics 365 is known for being a suite of intelligent apps that play really nicely with the whole Microsoft ecosystem, which is a big plus, right? You can often enhance what you have without a full rip and replace. For adaptable cloud-native options, there's InfraCloud Suite. They build industry-specific versions on AWS, again, aiming to reduce that customization need. And if finance is really your core, Sage Intacct is a strong player. Very focused on accounting, flexible workflows, good reporting, integrates well.
That flexibility, avoiding the rip and replace, sounds really appealing for a lot of businesses. What about the really big guys? The complex global enterprises?
Yeah, for those larger, more complex setups, SAC S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition is a major force. Its big thing is that advanced in-memory database. It means real-time data processing, and it's often favored for faster, more cost-effective cloud deployment without needing custom code, which can be a huge relief for implementation teams.
That covers the general market well. But now, let's shift gears and go deeper into a segment you mentioned, the public sector. Why is it so different? What makes their ERP needs unique?
Right, this is where it gets really distinct. The public sector governments, nonprofits, NGOs, they operate under a completely different set of pressures. You've got tight budgets, rising demands for transparency from the public, constantly changing compliance rules, and often there's this urgent need to modernize really old tech, all while navigating, complex approvals and processes. It's just a different world.
Makes total sense. So given those specific pressures, who are the ERP vendors really stepping up for government and public sector orgs, according to Panorama?
The report highlights a few key players. Infor Public Sector is one. They have solutions tailored for states, cities, K-12, utilities, tribal nations, federal agencies, you name it. They offer features like process mining, which helps analyze and improve how work gets done, and public-facing portals, which is key for transparency. Then you have Microsoft Dynamics 365, Public Sector. They offer solutions compliant with U.S. government standards running on Azure, and they're integrating Microsoft Copilot for AI insights, specifically geared towards public sector tasks.
That AI Copilot integration, I can see how that would be huge for dealing with the sheer volume of government data and processes. Who else is strong in this space?
There's Tyler Technologies. They focus exclusively on the public sector, cities, counties, schools, special districts. Their systems pull together accounting, budgeting, HR, utility billing, revenue management, all the core government functions. And Workday is another big one. Cloud native, offering a single system for governments and nonprofits covering HR, finance, grants, projects, spending, analytics, the works. Plus, they also have embedded AI and ML.
So these aren't just tweaked versions of corporate ERPs, they're genuinely built for government needs. Are there any smaller, more specialized players emerging too?
Yes, definitely. The report mentions a few like AccuFund, which is browser-native ERP for government, and BS&A software, which is really niche, focusing just on local government agencies. Also CGI Advantage, offering a unified ERP platform specifically for the public sector.
Okay, now this is where I think it gets really fascinating. You mentioned different types of public entities. What are the specific nuances? What makes a nonprofit's needs different from, say, a local government's?
Oh, the diversity within the public sector is incredible, and that's key. Take nonprofits and NGOs. Their big struggle is often juggling separate systems, one for finance, another for donors, maybe another for tracking grants. It's disconnected. So they desperately need integrated, affordable cloud solutions just to stay compliant and efficient. And if they're international, then you add multi-currency needs, global compliance, whole other level of complexity.
Right, bringing it all together to serve the mission, potentially across borders. What about local governments, the cities and towns we interact with daily?
Local governments, they're often battling ancient legacy software, lots of manual paperwork still. They need modern ERP for automation, think digital purchasing, electronic timesheets, but also critically for regulatory compliance. Things like GSSB reporting standards, and increasingly for transparency, opening up data and citizen services like online permit applications.
Transparency and citizen interaction? Yeah, Those are huge. Utilities must have incredibly specific needs, too, with all that infrastructure.
They absolutely do. Utilities operate under intense regulation and financial scrutiny. They need systems with really granular controls, complex billing setups. They handle massive transaction volumes. Plus, they need strong enterprise asset management, EAM, to track pipes, wires, plants, And seamless integration with other specialized systems is non-negotiable. CIS for customer billing, SCADA for operations monitoring, GIS for mapping everything. It's deeply interconnected.
Wow, that's a web of specialized tech. What about tribal governments? What makes their situation unique?
Tribal governments are unique because they often oversee incredibly diverse operations, maybe a casino, healthcare services, education programs all under one umbrella. They manage complex funding, and critically, they need solutions that respect their sovereignty. So the ERP needs to streamline all these varied functions and integrate tightly with things like tribal enrollment and member services. It's a real mix of business and community focus.
Fascinating blend. And lastly, those special districts, like schools or transportation agencies.
Right, special districts. Think K-12 schools, universities, transit authorities, airports, even parks departments. Each one is different. K-12 needs unified HR, payroll, budgeting, plus integration with student information systems. A transit agency needs heavy-duty asset management for buses and trains, and complex revenue tracking, airports too. So each has very specific operational needs and compliance hoops to jump through. A generic ERP just won't cut it.
That's an amazing breakdown of the nuances. Okay, let's shift focus now to, well, the scary part for many, implementation. We hear horror stories. What's the core issue? How often did these projects actually go wrong?
Yeah, it's definitely a key concern. And the statistic is pretty sobering. That 2022 Panorama report, it found over 50% of ERP implementations fail to meet expectations, over half. That means the majority either cost way more than planned, take longer, or just don't deliver the promised benefits. It's a big number.
Ooh, 50%.
Yeah.
It's not a great odds. So based on the Concentrus Guide and other insights, what are the most common traps people fall into? And how do you avoid them?
Okay, trap number 1, skipping a business process assessment. The huge mistake here is trying to fit a new ERP system around your old, maybe inefficient or even broken ways of doing things. That leads to a bad fit, forces tons of costly customization. It just doesn't work well. The solution, you have to do a proper readiness assessment first. Get input from all departments. Figure out how work flows now and how it should flow with the new system. Otherwise, it's like building on a shaky foundation.
Fix the process before you automate the broken process. Makes sense. What's another common pitfall?
Underestimating the total cost of ownership, TCO. This one trips up a lot of people. They budget for the software licenses, sure, but they forget or underestimate all the other costs. Things like change management, getting people on board, user training, integrating with other software you use, even just the time your own staff will spend on the project. The fix. Build a complete TCO forecast right at the start. Get the full financial picture, warts and all.
Those hidden costs can absolutely sink a budget. What about the human element? You can have the best tech, but if people don't use it.
Exactly. Which leads to trap number 3, ignoring user adoption. ERP systems often fail not because the tech is bad, but because the users, they don't use it. Or if they resist it, stick to their old spreadsheets. The solution has to be built in from the beginning. Budget time and money for proper training. Create power users or champions in each department. Make it hands-on. You need people to actually want to use it, or at least see the benefit.
Critical. If adoption fails, the whole ROI argument just collapses. Okay, one more common trap.
A big organizational one. Treating ERP purely as an IT project. When IT owns it exclusively, the focus can become just technical implementation, losing sight of the bigger business goals, the financial impact, the operational improvements. And adoption often suffers because other departments don't feel ownership. The solution: frame ERP as a company-wide strategic initiative. Get finance, operations, sales, everyone involved from day one. You need that executive alignment, visible leadership from the CFO, COO, not just the CTO or CIO.
Makes sense. It touches every part of the business, so it needs broad ownership. Now, beyond those traps, Panorama also mentioned some eye-opening discoveries, specifically when replacing old legacy systems. What kind of surprises do companies run into?
Yeah, this is where the reality check often hits. One big surprise for IT folks is this idea of subscription-based on-premise licensing. They think on-premise means you buy it once, you own it, like the old days. Perpetual license. But nope. Many vendors now offer on-premise solutions on a subscription basis. So you still manage the hardware, but you pay recurring fees. And often, the vendor mandates upgrade schedules too. It really challenges that traditional sense of control you thought you had with on-prem.
Whoa, okay, that's a fundamental shift in cost and control, even if the server's still in your building. Does that flexibility ever backfire? Like, does it lead to a messy setup instead of real integration?
It absolutely can if you don't manage it strategically, which ties into another eye-opener. Feature richness doesn't equal value without foundations. The demos for modern ERPs, they look amazing. AI forecasting, slick analytics, dazzling stuff. But, and this is the big but, those cool features only work well if your underlying processes are solid, your data is clean, and people across departments are actually using the system correctly. Building that foundation takes time, sometimes years. If your sales order data is a mess, for example, fancy AI forecasting isn't going to help much. You get underwhelming results. It's not just about the shiny new tools. Your house has to be in order first.
Such a crucial point for any big tech project, really. Get the basics right. What about the data itself? Moving decades of information must uncover some skeletons.
Oh, does it ever? That's the next big one. Data migration is a strategic decision, not just a technical task. When you start pulling data from those old legacy systems, you inevitably find the messy reality, inconsistent entries, duplicate records, missing fields. It's often a tangled web. Suddenly cleaning that data, deciding what's actually worth migrating versus starting fresh, it becomes a massive strategic discussion, not just a technical checklist for the IT team. The cost of fixing the data, the governance around it, it's significant. It really forces you to confront the true state of your information.
Like cleaning out a very cluttered attic before you move house. I get that. And the last big surprise, often the non-technical one.
It almost always comes down to people. The cultural shift can be larger than the technical one. Replacing a system people have used for years, maybe decades, it forces you to confront all those ingrained habits, the workarounds, the shadow spreadsheets people built because the old system was clunky. Resistance isn't just about learning new buttons. It's often tied to deeper things. Comfort zones, autonomy, maybe even fear about performance visibility. Overcoming that takes real effort. Strong, visible support from the top, and dedicated organizational change management. It's about hearts and minds, not just clicks and screens.
That's a powerful reminder. So, okay, we've talked traps, challenges, surprising realities. But let's bring it back. Despite all this, getting ERP right does have huge benefits, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What's the ultimate payoff?
Oh, absolutely. When it's done well, the payoff is undeniable. Modern ERP truly lets organizations make decisions based on real-time data, not guesswork. That leads to major efficiency gains, real cost savings. For the public sector specifically, it boosts transparency and makes compliance easier, which is critical for trust. And overall, it gives organizations more agility, the ability to scale, to adapt faster to whatever the market throws at them. It really positions them for the future.
And given the complexity, the potential pitfalls we discussed, getting expert help seems pretty crucial. What's the role of independent consultants like Panorama or Concentrus in all this?
They play a vital role because firms like Panorama, who are importantly 100% independent, not tied to any specific vendor and Concentrus, they bring that unbiased expertise. They help organizations navigate the selection process, plan the implementation correctly, and steer clear of those traps we talked about. They have the methodologies, they've seen what works and what doesn't. They can translate the technical jargon into clear business strategy and honestly help rescue projects that might be going off track. They provide that critical guidance.
What an incredibly thorough deep dive into the ERP landscape for 2025. I mean, it's clear it's complex, no doubt about it. But understanding these trends, knowing the key players, and especially being aware of those common traps and those eye-opening realities, that really sets you up for a much better chance of success. It's really about that strategic planning, isn't it? Preparing the whole organization for transformation, not just swapping out some software.
Exactly. And looking ahead, this move to the cloud, the deeper integration of AI, it's not just going to streamline things. It's poised to fundamentally reshape how organizations, both public and private, are structured, how they make decisions in the coming years.
So here's something to think about after we wrap up. As these smarter, more connected ERP systems become more common, more accessible, how might that change the org chart itself? What new roles might pop up? What skills become essential? And maybe which roles start to fade as technology becomes truly predictive, maybe even autonomous in some areas? Definitely something to mull over.